Harrie, you help individuals and companies as a growth expert, LinkedIn JD, and trainer, public speaker, and business coach.
So I was a manager that found it very important to make my colleagues like a team.
How did you develop this human-centered attitude for yourself, and how do you help organizations to develop it?
I made small steps, and after the small steps, I made a big step.
You have a motto, and this is follow your heart, it is always right.
Send some love and then send the bill.
What would be your advice for us to reach more people around the world?
Don't be afraid about what other people think about you. That's not important.
Murat, that's amazing. That's amazing. What do you think?
Hello everyone. Welcome back to Excellence Talk. As usual, together with Dr. Christian Forstner, we are welcoming an important guest, this time from Netherlands. Hello, Christian.
Hello, Murat. Good to see you again. Yes, we have an important guest today, Harrie Lammers. Harrie, you help individuals and companies as a growth expert, LinkedIn JD, and trainer, public speaker, and business coach. And most of your life, Harrie, you have been self-employed or working as a freelance compared to the years that you've had an employment contract, like with the accountancy firm Worrell, where you worked for almost 15 years as an accountant. If you compare now the two ways of earning money, why do you prefer to be an entrepreneur?
Why? Good question, Christian. Thank you for that question. Most important thing, some announcements, is it's a LinkedIn Jedi from Star Wars. Jedi. And the company, the firm where I did as an accountant was Worrell in Zoetermeer. Why? I've always been an entrepreneur, but didn't make the choice to be a real businessman or an entrepreneur. Why? Yeah, you have to pay your mortgage. You have to pay the bills with your family also. And 6 years ago, I made a step to go to business for fully. I always have been an entrepreneur businessman, but I did it sideways. I did that and not for the whole time. So I made small steps, and after the small steps, I made a big step.
Interesting, Murat.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Harrie, for sharing with us. You call yourself a LinkedIn JD. So you obviously have enormous experience with LinkedIn and other social media channels. Although you have always worked in a sales and marketing environment, how did you develop your ambition with LinkedIn?
I came across with LinkedIn, I think, almost 15 years ago. I was working at an accounting office. And I saw that the big bosses, the partners at the office already used LinkedIn, but they only used it as a Rolodex. So they made a connection in a network, an offline networking, in a business event, and they switched cards. And then it was dead. And I thought, it's pretty stupid, because why don't you look who the person is? Where did he work? Who are his or her connections? I was a bit interpreted and I wanted to know more about it. And then I was looking at Google and I saw a nice LinkedIn trainer. His name is Perry van Beek. And I asked him, can you teach me to use LinkedIn? And yeah, the rest happened for now. I use LinkedIn as a nice tool to make connection with new people, but also to make better connection with the connections that I have.
Thank you, Harrie. We are sure that we are already in LinkedIn, so we will get all your advices and we will come later with some additional questions for interesting for our audience as well. You say that companies talk about processes and results, but in the end, it is all human work. People create feelings towards a company, and it is wonderful when organizations make a real changes together with their people. How did you develop this human-centered attitude for yourself, and how do you help organizations to develop it?
It's pretty simple, because when I was working at an accountant firm, that's almost now 20 years ago, I'm very driven. If I'm driven, but the rest is not, and you're sick or you want to make results, you have to have a good team, just like soccer or another team. So I was a manager that found it very important to make my colleagues like a team. And if you do that, by that, you're not very bossy. You're directly, I'm very directly, but you're not very bossy. You make better results than the other teams. I found that at the accountant. You always weren't sick, were always available. We did some overwork. I ordered some pizzas. I had a discussion with my boss because I had to ask him before I ordered the pizzas because it's money. And I used it also for the next steps in my business. You have to use talents like a team. And if you use that also in another business and you show that, and if I'm a speaker or a trainer on LinkedIn, but also on sales and marketing, it's all about the people, not what the boss wants and likes. Yeah, and then sometimes you get very difficult discussions with some people. Yeah, but I don't care. It's about those people. They have to make the results, and not only I have to make results.
Absolutely, Harrie. You have a motto, and this is follow your heart, it is always right. And this fits very well with your human-centered attitude. How do you use this motto in your daily work with your customers?
Because if you use your heart and not only your mind, of course your mind is very important every day if you wake up. But if you use your heart and you can show that to people, then you get a real connection. And if you make a real connection with people, they will do more for you, but you will also do more for them. And that's the whole life. And if I have a good connection with my clients, we can laugh, we can wine, or we can drink a nice beer with each other. Then you get a sustainable connection. Because if there's a problem, or they want some help, or maybe they have a nice new offer for me, I can make a new wins, they will call Harrie and not somebody else. And I think that's very important. And for the couple of 10 months, real connection is very important. Make a connection, send somebody an email or a LinkedIn, of course, message or a call. And how are you? And how can I help you? And don't send a bill for that. That's very important. So yeah, that's my motto. And I think then you have nice people around you and not only you're looking for a new business.
Sounds like very simple, Harrie, and I think it works.
It is simple, but you have to show it yourself and you have to do it yourself.
Yeah, and I think you have to be authentic by doing this. And you also say, Harrie, stop selling, help your customers with purchasing. This is a very interesting perspective that we didn't hear before. How does this approach work? And what is the advantage for your customers when you use it?
Yeah, stop selling. They call it social selling within also LinkedIn. It's very simple. You give some free tips. You also give me some tips about the surrounding, about the noise, just give 5 tips about LinkedIn. And then if they like it, they will make a real connection with you and will ask you more. Then you say, okay, I can help you, but 1 hour of my time is worth like this amount. And maybe we can make another arrangement about it. But so send some love and then send the bill.
Murat, that's amazing. That's amazing. What do you think?
Yes, indeed. It's really amazing. So thank you for sharing Harrie with us. I'm sure that it will be very interesting for our audience as well. I have the next question. We have started with our excellence talks a few months ago and used LinkedIn as the social platform to market our video products. Since we have just started to understand opportunities that LinkedIn has to offer, what would be your advice for us to reach more people around the world? And I'm sure that it will be a very interesting question for many people. They want to reach more people in LinkedIn.
It's very simple. The most important thing is do more. So don't put one post on your private LinkedIn and at the company LinkedIn, but also, Christian, you have to do that also on your private LinkedIn, and not 1 time a week, but maybe 2 or 3 times a week. Don't be scared that you're spamming your connections. If they don't like that, it's the same with the heart. They don't have a real feeling for you. No problem by that. Don't be afraid about that. So do more. And also use other things within LinkedIn. You have LinkedIn stories. It's on the mobile, not on the desktop. Use that. Make a story. It's visible for 24 hours, but you also can see who has watched your story. Maybe you can send him or her a message. Hey, that's nice. You looked at my story. Do you want to know more about it? Do you want to be in our next episode? Also, you can make an event within LinkedIn. If you make an event with a banner and logo, and you can make an announcement that you have speaker, of course, LinkedIn Jedi, maybe you have Harrie. And you can invite all your connections. And if you have 1,000 connections, you can switch them all. Don't do that because maybe some don't like that. Just do cherry picking. So you can make some good connections and you send them. And maybe some of those connections will say, oh, I also want to be a speaker in the next episode. So make use of all the tools that there are within LinkedIn and post more times. Don't be afraid about what other people think about you. That's not important. It's about you. It's your love and you will send it within LinkedIn.
Harrie, that's invaluable advice. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. Thanks to be here and that you both made an invitation that I can show my love to your connections. So I appreciate that also.
Thank you very much, Harrie. It was a pleasure to have you in Excellence Talk. Thank you very much for sharing for great insight. I'm sure that our audience learned a lot from you, and I'm sure that the next LinkedIn post will be just remembering you. What do you think?
Of course, and I have a last tip, a bit commercial for me, connection with me. Just send me a personal invitation that you liked this video on LinkedIn and send me an invitation. I always like that because maybe I can do something for you or you can do something for me or you can do something for my connections or I can do something for your connections. That's all about it within LinkedIn.
Yes, indeed. And we will remember your motto, follow your heart. It is always right.
Yes, thank you.